All right. Terence Crawford is big time petty, demands 75-25 purse split to fight Shawn Porter, or off he goes to fight who knows. This after throwing a hissy fit about being lowballed by Errol Spence. Can you say the word? Hypocrite. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. So, gotta tell you, I did a video earlier today. Terence Crawford has said something, cracked a joke that I thought was way out of sorts for Errol Spence Jr. Hot about it. Thought it was very disrespectful. Now we're back on to talking about boxing and seeing what else is going on with Terence Crawford. What is he going to do next now that I am pretty sure that this Errol Spence Jr. fight is in some real trouble? Okay, not sure because some inside source told me. I am a boxing fan. Do not get the lights. Don't get it fooled, okay? I just am old and I need lights to make me look better. All right, so it's just when I think. It is not something that anybody told me. However, I think running off at the lips with people about really bad car accidents is a bad look. However, I moved forward. I went on to my Instagram and my man sent me, shout out to you, you know who you are, sent me a Instagram interview that Terence Crawford did just a couple hours ago, 7 hours ago at the time of the making of this video. So this is breaking news. And the channel is an Instagram channel called The Real I Verb. It's spelled TherealAyverb. The Real Y Verb. I'm not going to spell it again. Rewind it if you didn't catch it. Otherwise, I'm going to try to put a link in the description, but I always forget to do that. But good interview. I appreciated that Terence Crawford was talking to this channel because, hey, man, he'd been getting criticism for not doing interviews and not giving black channels access to him. And I always believe it. I still believe that that is, I don't think that that is necessarily fair to Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford can interview whoever Terence Crawford wants to interview with. That's just was always been my opinion. But people that really are looking for interviews, that's something that they said. So they were on, get on this guy's show, just like he got off I'm not sure if it was Miss Boxing, another really good show, young black lady. Everybody's young to me. You could be 40. You still, I'm old. But anyway, you get my point. He's on the show. So I'm listening and I'm like, yeah, I'm liking this. Okay, let me try to center myself because, dog, I want to see Terence Crawford fight somebody. So the owner of the channel asked asks Terence Crawford, hey, pretty much, what about Shawn Porter? We know you ain't, says what he says, but ask straight to the point, pretty much, what about Shawn Porter? And you'll fight Shawn Porter. I know you're not worried about Shawn Porter. Now, before I go into the rest of this, and I hope you've made it this far in the video, because we dropped this throughout the video, I need to define a word for you, and that is hypocrite. It's also used, you might have heard it as hypocrisy, hypocritical. You got it? Hypocrite. And typically when people are called a hypocrite, at least in the way that I hear it used, is that it's if you're saying one thing and doing another, or if you do something to somebody else and you complain about somebody doing something to you that you're doing to somebody else, right? That would be being a hypocrite. Now, let's go forward to what Terence Crawford said about a fight with Shawn Porter. He says, and I do not have any problem with the man that asked the question, not asking what I consider to be the proper follow-ups. But I will tell you the proper follow-ups after you hear the answer to his question. He says, Terence Crawford, yes, Shawn Porter is my mandatory. So if he submits the paperwork for the mandatory, then I'll fight him. I'll have no choice. And right there, you have to understand what he means by that. In monetary terms, he's saying, I'll fight him for 75-25. Sure, I'll fight you, Shawn. 75-25. Turn in the paperwork, and I'm yours. I have no choice. But it's 75-25. Now, that's what he just said on the Real I Verb. You can go check the channel out. That's what he said. Go look at the WBO rules and see when you have a mandatory and it goes to purse bid. Now, purse bids is if you cannot negotiate something. Now, maybe Shawn Porter can negotiate something, but why, if it's going to be more than 75-20, would Terence Crawford enter into a negotiation? The stop point for him is 75-25 because that's the most he has to pay to get the fight. It's pre-negotiated. And he thinks he's slick. The guy didn't know the answer to the question. If you listen to it, and even most boxing fans don't know the ramification or the result of what he said. It's 75-25 for him. Now, Fanon, I keep doing British accents because I'm just so used to getting on Tyson Fury. Fanon, why does that matter? 75-25, he's the champion. Well, here's the thing. Errol Spence just offered Terence Crawford 60-40 and said, if you're not careful, 70-30. Everybody was insulted. Everybody. And do you know why? And no, with the 70-30 part of it. Because that's real. I agree with Terence Crawford. 70-30 is ridiculous. However, Errol Spence said that being dismissive. He said, if you don't take the 60-40, then maybe 70-30. But we're definitely not going to 50-50. Bear with me here. So, Bud got upset because he was offered, somebody said something below 40%. And he doesn't even like the 40%. He wants 50-50. But he will, for a champion like Shawn Porter, who like himself vis-a-vis Errol Spence, is a huge fight with a lot of money that could be made if they made that fight. Shawn Porter is the guy that was on a pay-per-view and a successful one. Shawn Porter does good, solid numbers. Shawn Porter also has the option to wait for an Errol Spence Jr. fight, and Errol Spence Jr. gave him more than 25%, I guarantee you. So, what can you make out of this? If he feels Terence Crawford, like there's screws loose in Errol Spence Jr.'s head because he had a car accident and dare say 70-30, then what did it have needed? What exactly occurred to Terence Crawford to act like Shawn Porter should have to beg and be a mandatory challenger for him when he is a champion? He was already a champion for the IBF. He's already a champion for the WBC. And he's somebody that people are actively asking to have fight Terence Crawford. He would be to date, without the doubt, the most accomplished fighter that Terence Crawford has ever fought, similar to what Terence Crawford is saying about himself vis-a-vis Errol Spence. Do you see? Rewind it if you didn't get it. But if you see, he's being hypocritical. He's either being sarcastic or he's being hypocritical. I think hypocritical, because if he wasn't being hypocritical, he would just say, yeah, I'll fight Shawn Porter. Let's go to negotiations. There's no need for a mandatory. But what Terence said was, either you fight me as a mandatory or I'll tell you what I'll do. If you don't do that, I'll go fight whoever it is they put in front of me next, probably Alexander Putin, because he just got off of his suspension for performance-enhancing drugs, and I have a suspicion that that was a guy he was going to fight regardless until Boost Putin popped dirty. So Boost Putin had to give up his WBC regular title so they couldn't call it a unification fight, right? Because they were going to do that. Boost Putin is the WBA regular champion. You know, the same belt Manny Pacquiao held when they were saying Manny Pacquiao was a champion until he lost to, until he beat Keith Thurman, right? So if that's a champion and Terence Crawford's a WBO champion and he fights the guy, that would have been a unification. Bud would have said he's unified. If Bud wouldn't have said it, you know daggone well Ring Magazine or somebody else like ESPN, Max Kellerman would have said it. So where else is he going to go? He's going to go there. But to get on Errol Spence Jr. for saying 60-40, but then turn around with the guy that gave Errol Spence Jr. the toughest fight that he ever had on a pay-per-view and then force that guy to take 25% if he wants to fight at all, that sounds to me like you're ducking. It sounds like you're doing a strategic duck. You're lowballing. You're using the WBO rules to lowball Shawn Porter. At least that's my take. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace. Follow me on Instagram. Peace.